Welcome to My Take. I'm Melissa, your life and wellness coach and host of the Aromatic Chat podcast. Each month, I share my unique perspective on the episodes released that month. Today, I'm diving back into episodes 107 and 108 of Aromatic Chats with Meredith Murdock and Joy Bowles. So, let's jump right in. I want to start this episode with a little story. Ready? I homeschooled my kids from K all the way up through 12. One time, I remember they were about in middle school and sitting at the table, supposedly doing their work, but instead they were arguing. Any homeschool moms out there feel my pain? Anyway, their argument escalated and my patience grew very thin. So I told them to put their pencils down and close their books, which they both begrudgingly did. I then asked them, do you know what your job is? As kids, you have a job, just like your dad and I do, but do you know what it is? They both replied almost in unison, go to school. And I shook my head. I said, nope. School is kind of just something you have to do. You need to learn how to be productive citizens and think for yourselves. Your job, however, as kids, is to look at the people around you and decide. Decide who you want to be when you grow up, and then model your behavior around those decisions. You may see something in me that you think, absolutely no way am I going to do that when I get older. You may see something in your dad that you love, and you decide, yep, that's who I'm going to be. Your job is to watch the people around you and decide who it is that you want to be. This is the power of having role models and mentors in your life. They inspire, they guide you on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. And I would say, as adults, watching the people around us is kind of still our job as well. Now, within the aromatherapy community, there are many who offer their services as business coaches. While I work with clients on business matters and support them through mentoring, I don't really market myself as a business coach. When you're looking for a coach who can propel your business forward, I firmly believe that you need to find a coach who has achieved the goal that you're aiming for, not just someone who claims to be a coach for that goal. What I mean is that if you want to be a six-figure coach, then you need to find someone who's already surpassed that goal to help you get there. My guest, Meredith, is definitely someone to look up to in the business world. She has achieved. She's succeeded in the wellness business for over 20 years. And as she continues to build her business, one of her main goals is to ensure that aromatherapy is a viable career where someone can make a living and have fun at the same time. Now, this is a conversation I've had again and again with other aromatherapists. We all know what this modality can do for the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. We understand the power of the chemicals inside those little bottles and what they can do when they are expertly crafted to target specific biological systems. It's more than just treating symptoms. It's about seeking overall wellness with bespoke blends and coaching our clients toward total well-being. But how do you attract clients? How do you actually make a business out of healing? Many healers have beliefs about money that prevent them from achieving their goals as business owners. I've worked with clients who believe they don't deserve to make money because they feel like they don't know enough. Now, I understand continuing education. As a registered aromatherapist, I must have a minimum of 20 hours of continuing education credits every year to maintain my registration. These clients of mine, however, feel like it's not enough, regardless how many credit hours they have. They continue to invest in classes instead of investing in their business. One of my clients worried that people would judge them because they're spiritual, and spiritual people are supposed to suffer. They aren't supposed to be wealthy. Another worried that something bad would happen to them if they made the money that they wanted to make. Yet another worried that there was not enough money in the world for everyone and that there would never be enough for them. There are so many more disempowering money beliefs that lead to fear. Still, the point is that until you reframe those beliefs from disempowering to empowering, having a thriving business will be difficult at best. Having grown up surrounded by business people, Meredith stepped into business ownership already embodying those empowering beliefs. She had people around her, including her family and other mentors, who showed her that money is a tool to be used. Many entrepreneurs, especially in the complementary arena, approach money with fear, and that fear can be debilitating. Meredith spoke with confidence about money and business and failing and succeeding as if it were no big thing. And to her, it isn't because of what she believes. Your thoughts create your beliefs, and your beliefs create your identity. She identifies as a successful business owner because she grew up and graduated college with empowering thoughts and beliefs. I think it's interesting that we have our identities and think that's just who we are. We take personality tests that confirm what we already know to be true about ourselves. But did you know that what you see as your identity is really your coping skills, your survival skills at work? Several years ago, I read Angel Tucker's book, Stop Squatting with Your Spurs On: The Power to Read People, Get What You Want, and Communicate Without Pain. Now, I know the title is kind of funny, but this book is based on the DISC personality assessment system. She wrote the book to help you communicate well with whomever you come into contact with. Using the DISC scale, you can quickly read someone's personality and communicate effectively. It's a great book, and I still recommend it today. Anyway, the book confirmed what I already knew about myself. I am a dominant and cautious personality. I know those two things sound contradictory, but that's what exists within me. But knowing what I know now about beliefs and identity, I can see when the dominant part of me came onto the scene and how my cautious part led the way through my childhood. Meredith's beliefs about business, money, and herself, and her ability to make good judgments and quick decisions have enabled her to pivot with grace and patience. At one point in our interview, she said one of her ventures failed. Now, as a coach, of course, I had to chime in. Even what people see as failure is just information. Sometimes knowing what doesn't work is just as important, if not more important, than knowing what does. This is actually an area where working with a coach can be so helpful. Sometimes you need someone who can take a 30,000-foot view of your business. It's hard to see everything clearly when you're emotionally involved. Having someone on the outside who's not emotionally invested in your business and can see all of the working parts at one time can help you figure out what is and what isn't working. Sometimes you just need to make a small shift, not a huge change. For myself, as a business owner, having a coach to help me clarify things was really critical and super empowering. Another thing that Meredith said in our interview was that business problems are like knots that need to be undone. I love that visual perspective because many times when you come up against something or something doesn't go as you planned, you really can get overwhelmed and paralyzed. But looking at those issues like a knot that needs to be straightened out kind of changes things. It just becomes a problem that needs to be solved instead of a roadblock to success. Beautiful perspective. Love it. One final comment about my time with Meredith. We work together on the Aromatherapy Registration Council Board of Directors, and I absolutely love working with her. We both grew up in New York, so we kind of have that New York idea in our mind. We both work in the healing arena, and we both love the practice and business of aromatherapy. She doesn't know this, but I view her as a mentor in the business side of aromatherapy, and I am certainly glad to know her, work with her, and have her passion for leading the charge to ensure aromatherapy is a profitable and sustainable career. Shifting focus here. In William Shakespeare's play, Romeo and Juliet, yes, you didn't know that you were going to get thrown back to Shakespeare, but today we're going to look at Shakespeare for just a moment. Romeo waxes poetical when he asks, "What's in a name?" His point was that the name of something is irrelevant, because he continued by saying, "That which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet." Though I enjoy Shakespeare, I kind of disagree with Romeo there. I believe that words matter. The words you think, the words you say, they have power. The words you choose have a vibrational energy that infects the world around you. Politicians know this very well and choose their words carefully to craft the thoughts they want you to think and believe. But I digress. Your words have the power to build up or tear down those around you every moment of every day. So, whenever someone presents me with information that challenges my thoughts and worldview, or just gives me new information that I've never considered before, I like to take time to think about those words and my response very carefully. I want to ensure that my chosen words build up the people and situations around me. I want to ensure that my little space in this world is filled with empowerment, love, peace, and joy. Now, names are words. When parents consider their children's names, they usually think about what they're going to name them. Some parents pray, seeking the wisdom of something greater to help them. I have friends who prayed for their entire pregnancy, seeking the name that would not only be their child's identification, but one that would embody who they are at their soul's level. In my and my hub's case, we chose names that had deep meaning in our families or held biblical significance. Every name has a meaning. Melissa, for example, means honeybee, which I find very interesting because Melissa is the plant lemon balm. Lemon balm is a plant that you can plant around beehives to draw in the honeybees. I don't know how my second August guest's name was chosen, but I have to believe that the power of that name has imbued her life with the emotion behind it, because it was a true joy to get to know her in the short time we had together. When I invited Joy Bowles to be a guest, I shared the show's mission with her. She responded that she's not an aromatherapist and doesn't meet the criteria, and would I still want to have her as a guest? I told her that I think having the people who teach aromatherapists share their stories and how they ended up in their positions helps to further the show's mission. So she said yes, and I'm so glad that she did. Joy truly was an absolute joy to have on the podcast and an inspiration to hear her story. If you have listened to this podcast for a while, you know I'm a big believer in Providence. It was really cool to hear Joy's story about not knowing what she would do with her degree, listening to her mom tell her to pray and open herself up to something greater, and then seeing how things fell into place, making her one of the most respected chemistry teachers for aromatherapy. I love that Joy didn't give up, but persisted in learning and following wherever her path led, Providence. I also love that when she took time off from teaching chemistry to be a mom, her work still influenced aromatherapy even without her promoting it, Providence. For those building businesses in this field, I would love for you to consider what the one-to-many model, like writing a book like Joy did, might look for you. Now, I love working one-on-one with my clients. It fills me with joy and energy. That's the model I've chosen for my business. But working one-on-one means you can only reach one person at a time, change one life at a time. The one-to-many model increases the reach of your work, and this model can take many forms, like producing a podcast, writing a book, building a course, hosting a membership, having a social following, or promoting your email list, etc., etc. Whatever way you choose to use the one-to-many model, it can help you reach the masses and increase your reach and support even more people. Now, I have Joy's book on my bookshelf. I've had it on my shelf for almost 10 years. She had influenced me for almost 10 years before I met her. That is the power of one-to-many. I really enjoyed listening to Joy speak about chemistry and research. One of the things she said about using the whole oil instead of individual constituents was the idea that this is a belief, not a fact, that the whole oil is better than the individual constituents. Isn't that interesting? My school focused on the whole oil while discussing chemistry and individual constituents. I was taught that the whole oil is preferable because of the synergistic effects of all the chemicals working together to create the essential oil within the plant. However, I also know that individual chemical constituents have been synthesized from the oil and used in various ways. Research is now becoming big in the aromatherapy world. You can hear Joy's frustration about the lack of research in this field. Research with aromatics can be difficult to conduct on human subjects because aromas can be perceived. The focus group would know what they were getting, while the blind group would know that they were not getting it. Not to mention that most big companies don't want to invest in research unless they're trying to produce research to promote a product, because the money has to come from somewhere. Joy and prior Aromatic Chat guest Marnie Reven earned their PhDs by conducting aromatic research. And now we have the Aromatic Research Quality Appraisal Task Force, also known as ARCOT, helping to move research forward. We also have the Case Study Collaborative hosted by Jesse Hawkins and previous guest Lori Cantelli, who seek to capture and publish practitioner case studies to collect data for future research. Yes, we aromatherapists want to continue doing the wellness work with our clients, but having research to back up what we know that these botanicals can do will only further the field of aromatherapy and help make it a sustainable and viable career choice for future generations. Having a well-rounded team of experts is important to maintain your well-being. Gone are the days when we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that our medical doctors knew us and had our best interests at heart. This is not a blast against doctors. It's just that their limited appointment times make it impossible for them to see you as a whole person. They only have time to treat the symptoms, make a recommendation, and get you on your way. As more and more people seek complementary modalities to maintain their well-being, having an aromatherapist who understands the holistic view and how essential oils support the different body systems will be critical. And having unbiased research showing the capabilities of essential oils is an important part of promoting the aromatherapy field. At one point in the episode, Joy, who lives and works in Australia, asked me about how aromatherapy is practiced in the United States. I can't speak for every aromatherapist because there are many tracks that someone can take once they've been certified, which Meredith touched on in episode 107, but I was able to share with her how I work with my clients. After graduating from the American College of Healthcare Sciences, I started to see clients. I realized I loved working one-on-one. I love meeting with a client, hearing their story, hearing their setbacks, listening to their goals, their comorbidities, their medications, and even their medical experiences, and then using my skills, knowledge, and intuition to help them move forward and actually achieve their goals. This is the juice that keeps me coming back for more. My goal as an aromatherapist and a coach is to help you get well, learn to stay well, and then do it for yourself. I only want clients coming back to me if a new issue pops up that they need help with. I'm starting to realize that I'm actually more than just a life and wellness coach, more than just an aromatherapist, more than just a body code practitioner. I'm also an intuitive healer. I've shared in the past that my family and ancestors were Poor Mountain people in Sevierville, Tennessee. Now, if you roll through Sevierville now, you'll be hard-pressed to see any remnants of poor people. But just 50 years ago, it was so. Those mountain people knew how to use the land for their health and well-being. Those mountain people knew and passed down the knowledge of the plants and the intuition to do what is needed to be well. As I continue through my healing journey, I believe those ancestral memories are starting to resurface. I have worked with client after client who started to make connections between whatever issue they brought into our session with past traumas, past medical issues, past injuries, and more that were never connected during a regular medical visit. I've seen in my own journey the connections coming forward from my God-given intuition of knowing. There are 4 main types of intuition: seeing, knowing, feeling, or hearing. And everyone has been gifted one of them. My intuitive gift is knowing things. It's kind of strange to say it, and I have to say even more strange to experience it, but I just know things. There are things that I couldn't possibly know, especially about a new client that shows up in a session, but I do know and I trust it. Many people turn off their intuition. Yes, it is possible. I did it. For decades, I had no inkling how to connect to that part of myself, to know what to do about things and how to do them. I shut that part of myself down because I didn't believe I could trust it. I outsourced my intuition to the people around me and trusted their advice over what I thought was right. Moving through my healing journey has unleashed this knowing intuition. And I can say with confidence that I really love being able to help my clients using this gift that I have. One of the most important things I use my intuition for is to help my clients identify their stressors and release them. Stress wreaks havoc on your mind, body, and spirit, and by extension, your relationships and connections. When you're stressed, you do not make decisions that align with who you want to be and where you want to go. And releasing stress is key to being well in mind, body, and spirit. Joy spoke about the study she conducted for her PhD about stress reduction in nursing home residents. This is still a key strategy that nursing homes employ to give their residents the best quality of life that they can. Some nursing homes use essential oils to accomplish that goal. Let me know if you work in a nursing home or other long-term facility and you're interested in bringing aromatherapy to your residents, because I have a hookup for you that could change the whole landscape of your residents' experience. Stress is more than just the feeling at the end of the day that has you screaming at your kids, eating those comfort foods, or drinking a double. You may be surprised at the things that are stressing you out. If you want to identify and release some common stressors in your life, I do have a gift for you. I use these 5 key strategies to help my clients release their stress. And you can download your free ebook, From Stress to Your Best, 5 Tips to Stress Less, at the link in the show notes. Visit the link in the show notes to get your copy today. I want to remind you that you get to choose how this life looks and feels. You do not have to keep running on the treadmill that exhausts you. You do not have to continue in the relationships that drag you down. You don't even have to keep eating the foods that leave you feeling gross at the end of the day, though they felt really good at the time. You get to choose. I know that sometimes it feels like the world is against you, but I believe that the world is for you. Every experience you go through has a purpose, going back to that Providence. Sometimes having someone to help you see that purpose can be the one thing that makes the biggest difference in your experience of this life. I invite you to visit the link in the show notes to schedule a 30-minute conversation with me if you're ready to trade in the exhaustion, overwhelm, and hopelessness and restore your holistic mind, body, spirit well-being. This world desperately needs you, the authentic you, the healed you. You were designed for this moment with unique gifts and talents to bring to the world that you may have unknowingly suppressed. My passion is helping you discover who that incredible person is and support you as you step forward in authenticity. Thank you for joining me on my take today. I'm Melissa, your life and wellness coach and the host of the Aromatic Chat podcast. Every other week, I bring you conversations with registered clinical and certified aromatherapists worldwide. I'm committed to helping you reconnect with your true self and heal your mind, body, and spirit to achieve that total well-being. Check out a new Aromatic Chat episode every other week, and then check back in for the next My Take episode after that. Until then, remember, the world needs you.